You're listening to Force Majeure, an actual play Star Wars podcast. My name is Adam and I'm your host, and today's episode will be brought to you after these words from our sponsors.
And action. Go.
You have many needs in your life. One of them might be shipping things to other solar systems or parts of the galaxy. If you're going to do that, you should use professionals. Use the Kralit's Fang.
Sweet tea, did you ever think that maybe you should be letting A1 talk if you're talking about professionals?
I mean, I as the captain of the Kralit's Fang, I can give you my personal guarantee that your cargo will never be in safer hands.
You're absolutely right. They'll be in great hands, but I can't say they won't be salty sticky because last time I visited you, I had to clean the control panels from the salted Tinja snacks. Were you just eating them and licking your fingers and flying?
No, I mean, I don't tip. I mean, yeah, I eat in the cockpit sometimes, but not, when we're on a job, it's 100% professionalism all the time.
All the time. And did you mention that you can rent the Cuddle Pod for a reasonable price and we'll even clean it out, right?
There's no more Snuggle Pod.
What?
The Snuggle Pod is no longer. It's just an escape pod. On a ship this professional, there would be no place for a Snuggle Pod, unfortunately.
But there's place for all your goods. Whatever it is, we'll find a way to get him in there. Shoving him in the back real tight. We'll fit whatever you have into this ship.
That is correct. We have lots of cargo space. We can even take the occasional passengers from point A to point Z and all places in between.
You know, it would help if you lost a few pounds there, maybe. Give the passengers a little more room.
Well, the passengers won't be spending time in the cockpit, Mom. That's where I spend time. But there's plenty of room on the Kralit's Fang to stretch your legs and relax in comfort and style as your goods are flown from other parts of the... Mom, you can't...
And my son can vouch for that, because he had a girlfriend on here once that I just recently found out he's no longer with, but there was plenty of room for her, right?
Mom, it was, she had things to do. You know what? We're not going to talk about that right now. Right now, we're talking about the professionalism and the timeliness of shipping with the Kralit's Fang.
Do you remember that time we got off the Kralit's Fang and somebody was shooting at us and you said, "Don't shoot at my mama"?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty natural thing to say, but, normally when someone's shooting at your mother, but, when you travel with the Kralit's Fang or when you trust your cargo to the Kralit's Fang, you can be sure that it will be kept safe and sound with little risk of interstellar piracy or borders.
Because my sweet tea here will protect your stuff like it's his mother.
Yes, the Kralit's Fang protects its cargo as if you are the mother of the captain, and your cargo is the mother of the captain.
And all deliveries come with a fresh batch of Mama's moistest muffins in the galaxy.
That is correct, Verita Tazi. We have the moistest muffins in the galaxy at our disposal, and they will be yours upon booking some cargo transfer with the Kralit's Fang.
And you can always call the ship, too, if you need just a special order of muffins.
Yes, you can use the ship's holocode, which will be provided to your holo transmitter at the end of this particular advertisement. But again, if you need your things to go from point A to point Z safely across the galaxy, think of no one but the Kralit's Fang.
With a great deal of discretion, too. I know this.
Yes, discretion is the better part of what we do. Is that enough, A1? Do you need more?
And we're done.
Hi, I'm Ed Fortune, and I will be your games master for this session of Force and Destiny Star Wars. The campaign is called Shadows of the Jedi, and I'm not allowed to run a game without some players, because apparently that's weird. So, if my lovely players would like to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Ross. I'm playing Dr. Smex Karam Danaloa, a Syrian consular healer whose emotional strength is his compassion, but whose weakness is his obstinacy.
Hi, I'm Mikey. I'm playing Dalen Kyrain, and I'm currently eating a biscuit.
Hello, everybody. I'm Adam, and I'm playing Tychus Bar, and I am not currently eating a biscuit.
Hi, I'm Mim. I play Roy, who's a B1 battle droid with a hired gun career and a specialisation as a bodyguard. And I don't even know anymore. I don't know. I just am. I am that I am. That is all you need know of me.
Does anyone have a question they'd like to ask each other before we begin our story?
I've got one. Roy has one for Tychus, actually.
So, Tychus, have you ever wanted a brother or a sister or a sibling?
I've already got one, Roy. And then Tychus gives you a big old four-armed hug.
Aww.
And then goes back to viewing what's about to pop out of this cryo chamber with Clementine drawn. A furrowed brow. And a wildly inflated wattle.
On the planet Kinabar, and there are stories of a creature known as the Sharblin Worm. It is said to be mythical because no one has ever quite seen one. They say it is huge. They say it can devour entire cities. They can say that it will one day eat the world. But no one's seen one, so it's probably a lie. The strange room that you're in floods with mist and steam. The smell is overwhelming and unique. Out of the mist comes an enormous Besalisk. He is twice the size of Tychus, quite easily.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, clone baby.
If it helps set the scene, at least Kay is looking absolutely horrified while standing next to Roy.
Its massive forehead furrows, and it's just staring at all of you, blinking as if indeed it has, for the first time ever, seen all of you together. It's never seen anything quite like all of you.
What did you do, Roy?
I made a baby. Isn't that what you organics do?
Not like that. The doc's going to go forward and make a medicine check to check that this new Besalisk is all right.
Nobody else has gone near it. You're very brave. Bye.
The first thing it says is it stares directly at Tychus and goes,
"Ah, I still see you have your toys, father. No, you're not Angkor Krell, are you?
You said his first words. I'm so proud.
Who are you?"
Now that you can see him, he looks very much like the statue that you saw.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
Tychus just kind of blinks very slowly, and his brow also furrows in some confusion, and he takes a few steps back to be standing next to Kay and Roy. Clementine is like in his primary hands and is thrumming quietly with a charge ready.
If you're not Jedi Master Angkor Krell, and who are you? And what is that?
We're your mummies and daddies.
And why is it speaking to me?
He's talking to you, Doc.
My name's Tychus Bar, not what's his name Krell. This is my brother Roy, and this is the doctor, and this is Kay, and you are somewhat out of time, and not in a threatening way, in a literal and very real way. There was a war on here, and I believe the Jedi attacked this place hunting for the shards of Rur, and then it went into lockdown for centuries, probably.
And we're archaeologists, says Kay suddenly, as if he's just come up with the idea, because he has.
You've had a really long nappy nap.
I haven't been sleeping, I've been made. I'm... this...
It starts to walk towards you. Are you doing anything? Are you stopping him?
I don't think so at the moment, because he is considerably more pacifistic than the other ones that have come out.
He could probably outrun us as well, because he's got a good several feet on us. Does he look aggressive as he walks towards us, or does he just look confused still?
So he's got that same stance that Tychus has when Tychus is just having a beer. It's not, it's the non... When Tychus is angry, you can see it in his shoulders.
Yeah.
He's not angry.
Okay.
Are there any cloths or any clothing around that isn't bloodstained?
Well, it's funny you should say. So he's completely ignored the other wounded being at his feet, and he's walking with purpose towards the lockers.
I'm not sure there's going to be anything there that'll fit you.
So it goes to the other side of the locker set, because there were two sides, there was a right and left. He opens one of the lockers, takes out a human-sized uniform, and then he's rummaging.
While he's doing that, Tychus kind of sidles a little bit closer to the rest of the group and kind of a bit sotto voce, he goes, "So, when I was looking on the machine before he was decanted, it strongly suggested that they were going to be decanted as a blank slate, that there was no Besalisk personality loaded in the machine. So I'm a little concerned that he's come out not only with a personality loaded, but considerably more coherent and conversational.
With memories.
Aye.
And it sounds like he's got a soul.
Oh, that explains it then.
He says, because he's listening.
That explains it perfectly.
And he's apparently got really good hearing as well.
I'm so proud.
He pulls out, it's some sort of weird gem thing. The doc can immediately recognise this as a very old-fashioned kind of medical scanner.
Okay.
And he's pulled this from one of the lockers.
He's pulled this from one of the lockers. He's pulled out 2 cans of something. He's torn apart a med pack, and he's also torn apart one of the robes. And the first thing he does is he's got this weird medical scanner, and he's checking himself out.
Doc, you want to go and give him a second pair of eyes over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to. Just clarifying that, is he just ripped these robes? I mean, in intent of, I'm trying to find something big enough for me, or is it accidental, or...
It's very much deliberate.
Okay.
As you're coming towards him, he's shaking a can of something,
Insta-clothes.
looks at it, throws it away, takes the other one, shakes that, smiles. It's a very Tychus smile, actually. Smiles, and is spraying himself with some sort of sealant patching.
I was going to say, Besalists go through a lot of underarm deodorant, don't they?
They do. More than you'd imagine. It's very expensive.
It's forming a rudimentary piece of clothing around him.
Spray shoes!
Spray shoes.
This will do. Sorry, Syrian, yes?
Yes. I'm making nice conversation while using medical scan. I just want to check that he's healthy, given he's, among other things, he's twice the size of a Syrian. I don't know whether that's healthy.
Cough.
Just climb up there and take his temperature.
The dude's... No. This is entirely a passive... I'm trying to guess. I'm trying to make an estimate of this sort of thing, rather than, because the guy's, nearly twice my height.
Aye, Doc, go and give him a second opinion. I'm just going to stay over here. And Tychus kind of leans with his lower arms on one of the banks of the various computery panelly bits, so that's between him and this giant Besalisk. And Clementine is still in his hands, held ready. Not threatening, but by no means is Tychus relaxed. His wattle is still slightly inflated and has that kind of... When he gets really angry, it flushes and has like a reddish striations against the green. And that is still... He's still, got his war colours on at the moment. He's not quite calmed down from, having part of his soul dismembered.
Oh, he's so advanced for his age. It was at least 2 years before we could get you to put clothes on. You just wanted to take them off.
The problem with clothes, Roy, is they're very restrictive, and when you're growing, you need to be able to be free to climb and clamber.
And he's fully grown already. And then some.
Aye. Although you did well, presumably. I'm happy that you're happy. I'm just not convinced that Mum and Dad are going to share your view.
He's not going to be able to fit in the house.
He's barely going to fit inside the Opal, I think.
I'm sure they'd love to be grandparents.
Ross, it's a roll that is easy difficulty, and you get 2 boost dice.
Okay.
One for the fact that he's not resisting, and you're just doing a very basic and simple thing, because you're just trying to find out what's going on with him.
Great. I already get 2 boost dice. This is going to be great. That's 3 successes and 4 advantage.
Okay, so he is abnormally healthy. So his heart is running fast, but given the fact that he's twice the size, that's what you would expect.
Yeah.
There is definitely an arrhythmia going on. He's a fully grown, healthy adult, except for the fact that everything is ever so slightly off kilter. And that's going to progress. And he's giving you a look as well that he knows exactly what's going on.
This is a short-term host.
As you're taking his pulse, he goes,
So, Doc, how long do I have? Minutes or hours?
Well, how long does he have?
You reckon about 2 hours at the most if he exerts himself less.
I'm happy to tell him the truth on this go at this point. My best guess at the moment is about 2 hours. It's difficult to measure a bedside manner at this point, given he asked me matter of fact, and he already knows how he's in what condition he's got. So I'm going to be sort of equally matter of fact with him in response.
Can I ask, is this conversation happening loud enough for Roy to be able to hear it?
Yes, because he booms. He is very much in the Brian Blessed register.
Oh.
What do you mean, 2 hours? Doc?
I mean, diplomatically.
If the doc is pausing too long, Kay's just going to say something. I just wanna... So is the doc faltering?
Yes, the doc is pausing.
Right. So Kay says, he's only got 2 hours to live, Roy.
But that's not long enough. I mean, we haven't even had a birthday party yet. I've got to make a cake. I haven't got any presents.
It's fine, I'm not supposed to exist.
But you do, and you're mine.
He rummages in his body and sort of pops open, and there's a folded up party hat that he brings out and runs over to try and pop on him. And
I've got a party blower here somewhere. Happy birthday.
What sort of a thing are you?
I'm Roy.
This is Roy. Roy is a droid.
I can see that, but he's
unique.
Yes.
He takes the hat off you and he puts it on.
See, we kind of made you because I kind of wanted you, and I thought it'd be great, you know, and you know, I've learned how to be a brother, and I can kind of look after a baby, and I thought that'll be great. I'll have someone I can show the world, and maybe I can learn from you as well. And I thought we'd have more time.
Well, so did I. I take it you have questions. We don't have long.
What are you? Or who were you?
Okay. So what you have done, it seems. When Ra came to me...
Who?
I walk forward to where Roy is, pull out the lightsaber, and show him it. We know who Ra is.
Yes, that belonged to the first Ra, not the... Okay. You know this is the temple of the second Ra, not the first, yes?
I was not aware of that. We found the cube that let us in here.
We knew it was the second temple of 6, but not the significance of that. We have encountered Ra's holocron.
Oh,
but
maybe we've been reading that wrong, Tychus. Maybe it's not the second temple of 6. Maybe it's the second Ra of 6's temple.
Oh, could well be.
Is there more than 2 Ras?
There was the original Ra, and then there are the Ras who followed him. This second Ra is also Ra. They're the same being. I think I might have confused you, but this is the second incarnation of Ra.
So it's the second host that his consciousness has moved into?
Yes.
Serial immortality?
The second Ra claimed to be the reincarnation of the original Ra.
Are you a reincarnation of...
I have a splinter of the soul of the second Ra. This is what's running my existence. But my mind... When I volunteered to be templated, I did not trust them. I felt that they were up to something.
Yes.
So rather than allow myself and my body and part of my essence to simply be...
Subsumed.
Used, good word, yes. Used as a tabula rasa for Ra's own ego, I put a little bit of myself inside, so if any soul came in, I would run on my own cognizance. As such, I have some of the memories. Besalisk, I have this. We are a superior sentient.
I imagine that point everyone looks at Tychus and Tychus kind of just shrugs.
So, do you have a name?
That's a very good question. Call me Krell Ra.
Krell Ra.
There's a name.
Are you hungry? Would you like something to eat?
I'm not sure any of this works. I'll try eating.
Roy pulls out a juice box and a fruit, kind of froob, squishy bar, yogurty. It could be meat for all I know. I can't remember which flavour and which colours are which, but one of those squidgy bars.
He takes the food items, rips them apart, and essentially devours them, and then smacks his lips in them.
Food is not changed.
Yeah.
He looks at the fruit tube and just goes,
They still make this?
Oh yeah.
No, they don't. No, they've not made it for a few decades now, but he still has some. I don't know where he gets them from.
Mum and Dad stockpile. We believe in being prepared over in the Bar family.
They still make them.
No, we just stockpile. They don't go out of date.
They don't taste any worse when they do go out of date, so, you know. Krell, cards on the table. We were trying to save... No, that's not the right word. We are concerned that the local crime lord is trying to give himself the spark of immortality. And our plan here was to stop him by any means necessary. And that might be destroying the temple.
Which method?
Which method is he trying to get immortality, or which method will we be destroying the temple?
Which method of immortality do you think he's seeking?
We know he's got the Hut statue, whatever that then chains off.
So he's either trying to reconstitute his body and move his soul into another vessel, which is a short term. He won't have access to the Screaming Citadel, so there's not that.
We think he was gonna come here.
Has he tried unity with this planet? Rare tried it.
We don't know. All we know is that he has the Hut statue and his terrible news. I'm not sure where he falls on the philosophizing.
Yeah.
All we reckon is that he's heard that this is a route for immortality, and we're gonna make sure that he doesn't get it.
Is he force sensitive?
Potentially. Maybe.
Like, I'm still not even convinced that's a thing.
Oh, it's definitely a thing.
Hallucination consensually.
I can see Krell staring at Bar and Kay in the background just nodding.
He's giving him a very, very...
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You sound an awful lot like my father.
Tychus kind of shoots Roy a side eye. Your father's a wise man, then.
He laughs. He laughs long and hard for a good 15 seconds, and it's quite a hollow laugh as well. It's a style.
Sorry, yes, he'd be very pleased to hear you say that. Right, so you've come to this place, you're concerned that a warlord will take control of the technologies in it, and you, as archaeologists, are going to scupper this place?
This is the plan. For if the local crime lord gets this, he will become a warlord, and it will not just spell doom for this planet, it will spell doom for this sector, at very least.
Well, it'd be terrible. How is there a crime lord in Keenabel?
Keenabel has changed since you were around. It is a... What is the word?
Criffhole.
A criffhole. Yes. It is a scavenger world now. There is no presence, really, of any authority or empire or republic or anything like that.
The Republic has fallen?
Yes.
Oh, so in that period of history, then, the Republic always falls. I assume it's a Sith Lord in charge, it normally is.
A what?
Oh, I know this. Bad Jedi. He shrugs.
From your confusion, then obviously not. Probably not then. Maybe something else.
We don't really pay much attention to wider affairs here. We're usually too busy just trying to stay alive.
Because without its power and influence, Keenabel's just another world on the Outer Rim.
Pretty much.
So it's no longer the gateway to other new frontier worlds.
It's not much, but it's home.
It is very difficult to get here and very difficult to leave.
Oh, so they broke it. Right.
I've flown around the planet before. It is strange with gravity wells, and the local system is rife with asteroids.
That's tragic. This was once a gateway to wild space. That was the point. You would come here to explore the unexplored.
Now it is the unexplored.
Well, I'm not going to be here for long, so there's nothing for me to lament.
Don't say that. I mean, Doc, there must be something we can do, right?
Not with the information I have to hand. Are you the intended product of this place then? I mean, how could this place claim to produce or to claim immortality in people if they stop living 2 hours after they're reborn?
Oh, you all clearly have no idea how this technology works, and I have no inclination to tell you.
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
I originally submitted to this project to break it, and I'm quite happy to break it if you're willing to break it. It sounds like you're saying the right things. Excuse me while I kill this clone, if you don't mind.
He's picked up one of the pikes, by the way, while you've been talking.
Does anyone have any objection for me to finish off this abomination?
Yes?
Tychus takes a breath and goes, he's gonna expire shortly anyway, so just leave him.
He didn't have long to live, but, I mean, if one kept that kid kept shooting him.
I think I heard it's bad luck to kill someone on your birthday.
He tried to suck out my soul, but I don't think we should just kill him while he's bound. That doesn't seem right.
No, there's one thing in the heat of it, but he ain't going nowhere, and though he's gonna go anyway, soon,
The worst thing that will happen, he's got 2 weeks at top. Is that right, Doc?
That's what my last estimate was.
When we leave here, we will take him, we will keep him secure until he passes naturally. We shouldn't kill him.
He's just a weapon. He's just a shard of Ver's soul pointed at his enemy. I assume the shadows eventually came to this place then.
Yes.
what are the shadows? Because that's what he shouted at before he, started ripping bits of us out.
Trying to think of a way of describing it easily to you. The hidden police force of the Jedi.
Right.
The Watchmen who watch the Watchmen.
So the ones that do all the nasty stuff that the Jedi can then deny ever happened.
Exactly.
Oh, right, yeah, no, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that concept anyway.
Krell, I think just because Ruhr felt it okay to make clones which would kill indiscriminately, and he could kill indiscriminately, does not mean we should sink to his level. He's our responsibility.
I see no reason to get into a conflict with you, especially as you're holding that.
If it helps, I have no intention of using it.
Good.
Aside from killing the clone, what do you want to do? I mean, we don't have long. Is there something you'd really like to do?
Let's destroy this place.
Sounds fun.
And almost as if on time, Tychus, your datapad starts flashing.
I draw it out with one of my lower hands and have a look at it.
You have 2 notifications. Boop. First is a very, very crackly message from Carween. It plays because it's essentially a voicemail rather than a... because it can't get through, but it's done the voicemail thing.
Get out! Get out! Bracken knows where you are. The imps as well.
Tychus looks at the rest of the group and goes, well, looks like our deadline's moved up to not 24 hours then. I can get this place here to blow pretty easily, but we're going to need to get to one of the other rooms. What's his second message? Click.
It's not a message, it's a notification. You set it to tell you when things changed?
Yes.
So at the very top of the schematic, there are lots of red dots.
Like, when you say the top, do you mean the courtyard, or are we talking the vertical top or the...
The vertical top.
So where the capacitor is, for want of a better phrase.
At the top of the ziggurat, just above the capacitor, so the roof, there is a thing that's described as a some sort of vehicle. It's just a big red blob, and then there's lots of little blobs coming out of it.
Okay, so it looks like our company's working its way down from the top, which is less than ideal, because that was where I was going to suggest point 2 to Monkey Wrench was going to be, but I think that's going to be a bit of a hot zone.
There's another place, though, isn't there?
There is, and it's the Ascension Chamber. So we'd best crack on. Krell, there's bad folk that are coming here. The warlord we were talking about, they're making their way down. I don't suppose, given what little time you've got left, you're willing to pitch in with us to lend 4 hands?
Yes, I'm quite happy to help you blow this place away. I agree, you are aware that Ver's legacy is... I mean, I don't know, I'm assuming the rest of Ver's legacy is gone.
There is something showing on my schematic in the Ascension Chamber. Can you tell the rest of us what that is while I rig this console to blow?
Do you know what a Jedi is?
Yes.
Yes.
But you didn't know what a Sith was.
It's like a dark Jedi.
Okay, do you know what the Bendai were?
No.
They were the ones in between.
Right.
They exist, there's several Bendai and Bendu. In my time they were very rare, and it's a process lost to the Jedi and the Sith.
Yon statue said something about that when we were asking about the different types of immortality, right when we first got in, before and Tychus waves his lower arms, happened.
You're right.
And then Tychus goes back to the console and starts rigging it to overcharge.
The Bendai, or the ones in between, They are neither the light side nor the dark. They aren't grey. They become one with the living force. Let's start with the basics. When you die, you go back to the living force, yes? There's no afterlife, there's no nothing, there's no beyond. You just become part of the living force. You know that much?
I shrug non-committally.
Ra was desperate to avoid this and stored himself in different ways. Sometimes with technology, sometimes with more esoteric means, mostly by putting parts of himself in kyber crystals, all sorts of things. Mostly it drove him mad. The Bendai had a way of living for a very long time, but that by dedicating themselves to the ecosystem of the world that they were on. Does any of this make sense to you?
I don't think it needs to. Let's just try blow this place up.
The ascension process takes you apart, the part of you that is the living force, your very essence, and replaces the living force that's within the world that you are on with you. And then you proliferate and become the Bendai of that world.
So, Rur is the soul of the planet now?
Well, clearly not.
I don't know,
But he was trying to be.
Yes?
Certainly he should be. I mean, if this world is a ruin, then I would be surprised. He wasn't a stupid man.
How many different ways can you be immortal then? Says Tyke is still typing away and messing around with the console.
Setting up feedback loops and things like that.
Yes, because it sounds like he'd already jumped his mind into new bodies a couple of times. Could you go from that to then being benduficated, or is it like there are stages of immortality, so once you've been benduficated you can't be unbenduficated unless you've already... What happens if you've already kind of fractioned off your soul and you benduficate part of your soul and the other parts of your soul still run around like going to the shops and things?
Tychus, I don't know.
That's fair.
I am barely a collection of memories running of a soul of a madman. I'm barely here.
Isn't that all of us?
Yes, I think you might be right.
So what was the purpose of the statues, the Syrian statue, the human statues, and the Hut statues?
They're templates.
Templates for what?
Each one of us was a hero of our time. This body is the body of a hero. It's actually an exaggerated version. I don't think he was ever this tall.
I wanted to ask that, but I wasn't sure we'd get that time.
I just kind of imagine the camera smash cuts over to Roy looking extremely pleased with himself and smash cuts back.
My baby's a hero. I'm famous.
So you take an idealized version of yourself, you make it more idealized. You take your aging soul and you put it into a new body, and then that allows you to live for longer. Each one of these races was a race that Rare was hoping to recruit. One does not want to be immortal on one's own. Even Rare was not that insane.
So he wanted to be immortal with the best of each race?
His entire cult wanted to be the best force users in existence, not only here but the world. But the technology was dangerous. It could be used for all sorts of things beyond simple longevity.
So, where do you come into this then? You clearly weren't a card-carrying member of the cult. Were you sent here by somebody else?
I can't really remember. I think there was someone that I loved. But I can't remember their name. He or she. I can't remember their face. I know there was love for someone. And that's what drove me to this. I can barely remember my name. My surname is Krell. Was I my father? Am I Ankor Krell? I don't know.
Roy gives him a big hug.
Okay, so this looks ridiculous.
Yeah, you're hugging a leg. It's adorable, though.
On the data pad, by the way, there's lots of little white dots engaging with lots of little red dots, and the red dots are winning.
Yeah. How are you doing, Tychus?
Yeah, how am I doing on the processing?
I will need I'm going to have to say, unfortunately, it's computers rather than mechanics, unless you can give me a good justification for it being mechanics.
No, I think that's about right, to be honest. I think that's fair.
That's going to be 2 purple and a setback. The setback is because it's ancient and weird. These people are weird.
Yeah, it's the standard, this technology's peculiar setback.
Yeah. Shall we flip ourselves a light side?
Yes.
We have plenty. I'm going to flip myself a light side point. I'm going to have 455 help me out on this one. I hadn't been previously for the slicing, but with this panel being so big and there being so many other bits, I think I need his additional processing power. So, for the listeners, my dice pool for this is 2 yellow, a green, and a blue against 2 purple and a black. Bunty Hoven. It's a complete wash, Ed. Complete wash. So yeah, failure.
Okay. Every time you try and get it to feedback, it knows what you're doing, and a safety measure pops in.
I think probably because there's now hostiles being picked up by the internal security apparatus here, it's blocking me at every turn. So the only thing I can suggest for here is we have grenades. That's one point of failure. We can blow this place up. It's just that then we're going to have to hope that when we...
Tychus,
Aye?
give me a second. I turn on the lightsaber.
Tychus backs away.
I'm going to go completely Kylo Ren on this place.
Nope, 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 nope.
Okay. You go totally nuts and start hacking things.
It's less nuts because he's using the Akura Striker, so it is quite a dexterous... It's almost like a ballet, it is, but it's a very aggressive fighting stance, so there's lots of twists and turns and slashes. There is no defense in the Terror Strike.
Which variety of blade are you using? Normal, evil, or super evil?
The first one, the normal one, he has... If there was such a thing as gaffer tape in this in Star Wars, I would have gaffer taped over the other 2 bits. They scared K. They scare K quite a lot, yeah, at level 2 and level 3.
As you continue, Krell gives you a look and goes,
Can I suggest something?
I'm not stopping. I assume he's suggesting it to other people.
he's saying to you,
Okay, well, I won't stop, but yes, of course.
Central console. Use the...
Super evil. You're going to say super evil, aren't you? I know you're going to say super evil. I can see it in your eyes. In the way your wattle's twitching. We Besalisk can read each other's body language. Just say super evil and have done with it.
Use the force severing technique.
I'll stop. Has one where I've hit, has that seemingly damaged the consoles and things like that?
yes, it has.
Right, okay. The force severing technique, we have 2 different levels at the moment, and I'm thinking that level 3 is the force severing one?
You have 3 levels. One is the normal level, and then you've explored the other
Yeah.
2 levels. There's 3 levels in
Yeah.
total. So
Yeah.
you've gone for the kind of the eerie and the super evil.
Yeah.
Do you turn the blade? Do you change the colour on the blade?
Yeah. Yeah. Essentially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at him, turn it to 2, and see if he goes, oh yes, that one. But if he doesn't, I'll turn it to 3.
No, the other one.
So is it 2?
Yes, 2.
So turn it to 2.
So evil is force severing.
What's the 3rd setting?
Oh, it's a blade designed to remove the force from the body whilst the body is being destroyed. One setting will completely separate one from the living force. The other one will ensure that the living force stays in the thing that it's severed from.
That is horrific.
So you've got one that kills your soul as well as your body, and one that traps your soul in the dead body. So evil and super evil then.
I turn the lightsaber off. Grenades then. Right.
Rito. Tychus pulls out his frag grenade, looks up at the console, kind of weighs it in one hand, then holds out a hand for the other grenade from K.
Yep.
I think this is going to be the twofer. We might have to get creative once we get into the Ascension Chamber.
Okay.
The doc is grabbing hold of our restrained former attacker and is moving him away from the room.
Thank you. Right, move it or lose it, people.
Mechanics test to set the demo charges, Ed?
Yeah, well, it's only 1 die.
Okay.
It's a fairly simple thing to do. There's lots and lots of mechanical bits here, and it looks like a very complicated machine. There's lots of places for you to throw a shoe into.
Yep. So, nice and easy then. 3 yellow, 2 boost versus a single purple. It's a wash. No, it's not. That is 3 successes, a triumph, and an advantage.
Right, so you're setting charges, yes?
I am. I don't know how you're thinking, so we still got an advantage to play around with. But for that triumph, I'm imagining that I'll need more than 1 triumph to be able to set this up so it chain reactions and we don't need to go in the Ascension Chamber. But can I have that on a... it's got a timer, but it's also got a remote beeper on my data slate, so that if we're going to be here longer than the timer, I can pause it. If we get out of here sooner rather than later, I can blow it early.
Yeah, I was actually going to suggest that. So yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm thinking. You can totally adapt something that you have on you to be the dead man switch style button, so it definitely goes off. The other thing I'm going to give you as a freebie is, as you go through this, you're putting things on power conduits and all the rest of it, and it occurs to you that taking out the other power chamber is a good idea, but what you really want to do is take out both.
Yeah.
If you can take out this room, the ascension chamber, and the power room, the conduit room, then you can guarantee that it will be Ash. You're not sure because you can see that it's got structures in there to keep itself stable.
Yeah, but at worst, I don't really want to have to fight our way all the way up the building. So if we can just Ash this and the ascension chamber, then I'm not too worried about the rest of the building. Those are the two things I desperately want to torch. For the advantage, could I use that to help me get some idea of where in the ascension chamber, following the power lines on the schematics, whereabouts in we need to go to set that?
It's quite hard to tell, but it seems to be pointing downwards.
Cool.
And just as you're getting out of the area, Kay's done quite a bit of damage, by the way, to certain areas. He has been very methodical. And he's made it easier. He's also made very nice kind of structural cubby holes for you to put explosives in. So it's kind of useful.
Cool. So yeah, on the way out of the fecundity chamber, because I'll be the last one out, I'm going to grab the set of robes that I'd filched and just yeet it across the floor towards the main exit that we'll be going out of, so they're easy to grab on the way out. Just skid them over and then to the ascension chamber.
Even though you intend to be the last one out, Kay is really insistent that you don't go out last. He is protecting you, and you still do what you are, but he waits until you've gone before he leaves. It's almost like he was in the military and needs to make sure that everybody gets out of a room.
Cool. Right, ascension chamber next. Krell, to get into this room here, I had to do an awful lot of slicing because we didn't put Rur's holocron Medusa back in the statue of Grim. Should we just throw it up there? Do we need to? Can you get us in here using your access all massive hand power, or?
I do not have the devices on me that would require my access, nor do I have the memory. It doesn't work that way.
Right, well, do we want to throw the holocron thing back up to the big statue, Kay, and just tell him to open the door for us? It's probably quicker than me trying to slice in again.
I'll give it a go. I'm going to start heading back off to the entrance statue to do just that.
Okay, so you leave the fecundity chamber, at which point, again, Tychus's pad starts flashing, and there is another message for Tychus.
I open it up. Full volume.
It's Corwin. Don't have much time. I'm going with Bracker. The imps are already on their way. Bracker's recruited everyone he can find. Love you. Bye.
Stay here, I'll just be a second.
Well, we're all in the lobby room by this point anyway, I think.
You are.
Oh, are you all coming with me? Oh, I see.
We have to, because you've got to come out the cloning room into the lobby to get to the...
Okay.
You just kind of run into the main part of the room, I imagine. Or as we go to the door.
Okay, so as you get into the main lobby room, you can hear from a big echoey distance that there is gunfire happening. Behind you, the door itself appears to be glowing.
Which door?
The entrance.
As in like a force field, or...
As if something is heating it up.
Right.
Is that going to be a safe exit?
No, it's not. They're trying to get through that door. We might have to go up.
Okay, then. I pick up the two Foma mines, and while you're approaching the statue, Kay, I run across that door, and I plonk the Foma mines down, and then with my other two hands, I slide the bags full of books back towards the centre of the room where the rest of y'all are.
Ver appears.
Yes.
We need to access the ascendancy chamber.
Of course you do. We are under assault. Which priority would you like me to take first?
What options do we have?
We can activate defences on the temple. There aren't many left. Can't access fecundity chamber. The library is under assault.
Do not turn off any of the defences that are already on. Open up the ascendancy chamber. Once the chamber is opened, set off defences.
Versus
as you wish.
The ascendancy chamber doors rumble open. You actually see how ornate they are now. You see how strangely constructed they are. And it's not just a simple set of doors opening, it's like wheels within wheels open, if you see what I mean. This would have been an absolute devil to slice because it's a series of interlocking systems. Smoke starts coming out, the holocron deactivate, lands into your hand, and I think we'll leave it there.
And thank you everyone for joining us. We will see you next time. Force Majeure is played using the Star Wars Force and Destiny game system by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Our intro music for this season is Unholy Night by Kevin MacLeod, and our outro music remains Suburban Outlaw by Forget the Whale, both used with gratitude under the Creative Commons license. If you like the show and want to interact with us, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, all of which are at Force Majeure Pod, though Twitter is probably where you're going to find us more regularly. If you enjoy what we do and want to support the show, there's 3 ways you can do that. The first is via our Patreon at patreon.com/forcemajeurepod. The second is by buying us a coffee at ko-fi.com/forcemajeurepod. And the third way is by rating and reviewing us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere where you can find us. We really like reviews. It tells us that we're telling the stories that you want to hear and helps other people find us. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next time.